All right. We are jumping right into financial aid. This was actually supposed to be a guest lecture from one of our financial aid technicians, but unfortunately they were unable to make it, so I will be filling in and we'll be talking financial aid. So let's start with the cost of attendance of college, right? College is not cheap. And you can see some examples here, starting with the University of California system. Actually, the average cost now of attending a UC is $35,300 a year. You can see some samples of schools from Berkeley to Davis to UCLA and Riverside. So you'll find that there is a standard tuition rate, but where they do differ is in terms of the cost of living, room and board, and things like that as factors. Moving on to the California State University, where the average cost is $27,500 per year. And again, that tuition rate is pretty standard throughout the state. There are 23 Cal State universities. For the previous slide, there are 9 UCs that accept undergraduates. But again, the big difference is depending on where in California these schools are. So you can see a big difference between San Jose and San Francisco versus, say, Chico on this slide. Moving on to private universities, and examples of this include University of San Francisco, Stanford, Santa Clara University, Golden Gate University, Notre Dame, Dana Muir. These are all examples of private universities, and the cost of attendance is about $63,000 per year. With private universities, though, they do offer additional scholarships and aid that maybe some of the public schools might not offer, and maybe a little bit easier in some cases to get classes. But again, the cost is significantly higher, as you can see, tuition-wise. And then again, room and board will depend on where in California it is. Now, moving on, talking about how much it costs for non-resident students. And for non-resident students, there is, for UC schools, again, the tuition of $12,570, but on top of that, an additional $28,992 in supplemental tuition. With the state universities, there is a cost per unit rate, $396 for semester units or $264 per quarter unit, and in some cases that's on top of the base tuition of $5,742. So how do you apply for financial aid? The key thing to remember is the free application for federal student aid. Again, free application for federal student aid. Remember that for your quiz and for the exam later. FAFSA, free application for federal student aid. FAFSA.gov. The fastest way to apply and process is through the online application. FAFSA.gov also has paper applications available in PDF form, which you can download from the FAFSA.gov website. The key to take away from this is that it is free. You should never pay for applying for financial aid. So if you are prompted for payment, it is likely a scam to make a little money and redirect you towards the FAFSA website and the U.S. Department of Ed site. So remember, you should never pay anything to apply for financial aid, and the key is to go to FAFSA.gov, free application for federal student aid. Okay, so who can get FAFSA? Who can get federal student aid? This list is not the full complete list, but just some examples. U.S. citizens or permanent residents, you must either have a high school diploma or a GED, must be eligible for a degree or certificate program. have a valid social security number, be meeting your school's satisfactory academic progress, and males do have to register for selective service. There's actually a site, ifap.ed.gov, again, ifap.ed.gov, and that will cover student eligibility in the financial aid student aid handbook. Students must be enrolled as regular students in degree or certificate programs, or going for an educational goal such as transfer. And again, definitely good to check. If you are going to a university, they may have a different satisfactory academic progress policy. But again, just making sure that your completion rate is solid. Okay. So here are some federal programs that are available. There is the Pell Grant, which gives a maximum of $6,095 for low-income students with an estimated family contribution, or EFC, of 0. There's the SEOG grant, annual of $4,000. The amount awarded to the community college is $400 to $800. Work study is also available, so while you go to school, can get paid for work study, and that can go towards paying for your college costs. Loans are also an option for students. Loans you do have to pay back, and then plus loans based on your parents' or guardians' credit score. So keep in mind the grants are something you don't have to pay back. Work study also not something you have to pay back, but the loans you do have to pay back. Okay, so who can get California or state aid? Well, U.S. citizens or permanent residents are eligible. AB 540 students, so undocumented students who meet AB 540 can do that. So if you've done 3 years of school in California, if you're undocumented, then you can qualify for AB 540. So that can be a combination of, say, 3 years in high school, or a combination of sometime in high school and sometime in middle school. Even work in community college can now be counted too. You also must have satisfactory academic progress in your school as well. So we'll take a look at some California programs, the Cal Grants. So Cal Grant A, B, and C is what you see here. With Cal Grant A, it's tuition fees at four-year universities. Cal Grant awards up to $12,360 at UCs and up to $5,742 at Cal State universities, and $9,084 at independent and private colleges for students with a GPA of at least 3.0. Cal Grant B is in addition to the tuition and attendance fee after the first year at a 2- or 4-year university. So upon renewal after the first year, the student may receive the same amount of the Cal Grant A, and the GPA requirements a 2.0. So again, that Cal Grant B can be used at community college, which is considered a 2-year school. Again, some students do 2, some students do more. Cal Grant C is specifically for vocational and technical education. So if you're going for a career and technical degree or certificate, such as cosmetology or nursing or fire science or electronics technology, these are examples of that. Financial aid is available for undocumented students, and that's thanks to the DREAM Act. And AB 540 again is what helps make this happen. So here's a look at AB 540. Again, the attending 3 or more years of K through 12 school or adult school can also count now, and time in community college for 3 or more years. So just note that that those are options for students to meet AB 540 requirements, and students must have a GED or equivalent or high school diploma. This was actually a bill that was passed in 2001, giving undocumented students the ability to pay in-state tuition instead of non-resident fees and costs. So again, for students qualifying for AB 540, the cost per unit at College of San Mateo would be $46 per unit. Okay, so some key deadlines here. March 2nd is always a key date to note when it comes to financial aid. That is always the deadline for financial aid. So the financial aid application is actually open now at the time of this class lecture, so you can actually apply, and the priority deadline is March 2nd, 2020, and that's for Cal Grants A and B, state grants for the CSU, UC grants, middle class scholarships. Remember, and this is very key, that you have to apply for financial aid every year that you're in college. It's not just a one and done thing, that every year you have to apply by the March 2nd deadline. Okay. And you can see to create a financial aid profile, you can see you can do a CSS profile at collegeboard.org. Private, out-of-state, and scholarship deadlines may have earlier deadlines, so just check directly with each school or college you're applying to if you're looking at out-of-state schools or private schools. For the CSS financial aid profile through College Board, there are some fee waivers available for low-income students or students who are wards of the court, or orphan students under the age of 24. All right, so just want to close out the financial aid piece by showing you what an award letter looks like. For example, if you were to receive financial aid, this is what a sample award letter might look like, where the unmet need here is $1,583. So the total financial aid award for the student would be $17,595. You can see the breakdown of tuition and fees, room and board, books and supplies, personal attendant expenses, and here are the cost of attendance with an estimated family contribution of 0. So hope this was helpful for you. We'll have some resources available on Canvas as well. And following this, we will be discussing scholarships.